PBKC is your entertainment destination for poker, table games, OTB, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222 extension 199 and book your next event today. Feast in Football is back in the Paddock. Get ready for touchdowns and tasty bites every football Sunday during the regular season. Enjoy a $25 all-you-can-eat buffet plus one draft beer, or get it free when you place a $25 or more live bet on the Hard Rock Bet app at PBKC. Featuring 140 HD TVs, 3 giant screens, and a full bar. Bring your crew, place your bets, and pile your plate high. This is how Sundays were meant to be. It's Wednesday morning. You know what that means, folks. It's 10 a.m. and it's time for PBKC Picks, broadcasting live from right here at the Palm Beach Kennel Club in West Palm Beach, Florida, conveniently located right across the street from the Palm Beach International Airport. And let me be the first one to wish you a happy football eve.
Yes, right. It's a day away, man. Are you excited?
Oh, we're very excited.
Oh, my God. It's like Christmas for me, man. You
It
got
really
football
is.
back. College football is already 2 weeks in.
Oh, it's amazing.
You know, Florida State won. We'll talk about it later, what they did this weekend. So I'm in a good mood really as it is. And everybody's 0-0 right now. Now, see me in week 4 when the Giants are 1-3, 0-4, and how my mood is going to be regulated on the show going forward. But right now, everything's fine. Everything's perfect. Football's back. Let's get to it.
Yeah, we missed you last week. Ernest was in New York. Listening to
Yeah,
some
I had a
music.
great time. I watched the show last week, most of the show. I was actually in the terminal, Delta terminal, watching the show while waiting for the flight to take off. And great show.
That's nice.
Good to see Pat back too, especially.
Exactly. And mentioning Pat, Pat's on the phone. We're tuning in to Pat Rooney, the president of PBKC. How are we doing today, Pat?
Good, guys. Good to have Earnest back, and good Noah's not there. So, really,
Yeah, less egocentric.
Yeah, it sounds like a great show today. Of course, we're going to talk about everything going on in NFL. We're going to talk about some college. We're going to talk about some Major League Baseball. But let's start out by talking about Feast and Football, and that is every football Sunday. It starts this Sunday right here in the Paddock Restaurant. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet starting at 11:30 a.m., and that's going to go all the way till the last regular season Sunday, which is January the 4th. The buffet is free with $25 or more bet placed that day of at PBKC with the Hard Rock Bet app. So you can essentially come in each and every football Sunday and get that buffet free. And running down the list of food on that buffet: Italian hoagie bites, garden salad, roasted pork loin, chicken wings, pretzel sticks with beer cheese, lobster mac and cheese, Italian sausage, olive and cheese tray, spinach and artichoke dip,
Oh my
assorted
gosh,
desserts.
bro! First time I'm fasting. You can't do this to me, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm fasting right now. I'm like hour 16, 17 of my fast. You can't do it to me right now.
Yeah, no, I'm going to read off that list 2 or 3 more times during the show to make you hungry. But that's what we're talking about with Feast and Football every football Sunday. And also you get one free draft beer also. You can't beat that deal, folks. And if you want more information, call them at 561-683-2222, extension 199. Now we're going to start talking about everything going on, and, of course, that is the NFL. Week 1 starts tomorrow night with the Eagles playing the Cowboys. That we can't wait for the season to start. One of the things that was mentioned, we'll cover the news before we go over each game. The NFL's top 100 players for 2025 has been released by NFL, and the top 10 was just released just a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And on that top 10 list, let's go down 20-1 and see if you guys are going to also agree with this. Okay, 20, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts at 19. The other guy on the show would have liked that.
It's a little high, but
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, Derek Stingley Jr. at 18. Dexter Lawrence, your guy at
My
17.
guy, good dancer too. Do you see that?
Yeah, Fred Warner at 16. Jared Goff at 15. Trey Hendrickson at 14. Penei Sewell at 13. Chris Jones at 12. T.J. Watt at 11. Surtain the second is at 10. Justin Jefferson at 9. Myles Garrett at 8. Derrick Henry at 7. Joe Burrow at 6, Patrick Mahomes at 5, Jamar Chase at 4, Josh Allen at 3, Lamar Jackson at 2. And I don't know if any of us could say any different, but number 1 right now is Saquon Barkley.
Regardless of order, top 4 is correct. Top 5, I mean, Patty Mahomes' top 5 definitely is correct. Jared Goff. Like, so are we saying that based on this list that he's a top 5 quarterback in the league now?
That's what this list is saying.
I mean, you have Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes, no Stafford there. So, I mean, look at that, Jared Goff is the top 5 guy in the league, which I'm not saying he's not good. He's a very good quarterback. He had a great job last year in Detroit. But that's a little high, man, in my opinion.
Yeah. Pat, how are we feeling about the top 20 from NFL.com?
Yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain if I think that, I know Christian McCaffrey was out, last year, most last year being injured, but I don't know if they're projecting who these guys or if they're basing it off last year, but I think he should be in there. But otherwise, anytime you come up with a list, it's super subjective for the most part. Just like Earnest is saying, those top 4 or 5 guys, hard to argue against any of them. But anytime you come up with a list, especially once you get past the initial guys that generally everybody can agree on, then you might have some debate on whether Myles Garrett's ahead of T.J. Watt or Eric Hendrickson or whatever. But, I don't have any real arguments with it. My whole thing would be, who do I think should be on that list that might not be right now? But, again, super subjective, but no arguments with it.
I think, personally, like, this is obviously drawing straws here, like, I put Lamar number 1 because he is responsible for more for his team than Saquon is for his. Saquon has a lot more help in Philadelphia. Saquon is definitely a top 2-3 player in the league, without question. I think the top 3, regardless of order, is correct. Even top 4, Jamar Chase is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But to the top 4 is fine. I think everything else beyond that is questionable for me. Like I said, I think guys like Goff are still too high. Who'd you mention there also? Ross St. Brown. That's interesting. He's a very good player, but. Is he a top 5 receiver in the league now, you think? Are we there now with this guy?
Yeah,
top 5 receiver in the league? I mean, he's probably in the conversation, but definitive, top 20, that's – I see my science with this, I like to do things in like a 2-year sample. They obviously used it last year. Like Derrick Henry would not have been even in the top 20 going into last year.
Yeah.
So they're basing on last year's results, obviously, which is fine. You can do that. But I think I like to see a healthy 2-year sample and then like project for the future as well too.
One of the things going into the new season is some rule changes in the NFL. The new rule changes, the NFL has implemented new rules cracking down on unsportsmanlike conduct, specifically banning the nose wipe celebration and other violent gestures.
Why?
That one made me laugh. And they're also introducing electronic measurements for first downs using Hawkeye technology. Overtime is now going to be played in the regular season, giving both teams a possession opportunity.
All right. That's a good rule.
How are we feeling about these rule changes so far, Pat?
Well, I mean, the nose wipe is one of my
That's
favorites.
my favorite.
I mean, I guess I could see the throat slash or the guns or whatever, but a guy wiping his nose, I don't care. It's part of the no fun league.
Pat, can you do it? The nose wipe, please.
I could probably do it. I do it anyway. I do the nose wipe anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
it's called Kleenex.
Constantly running. My nose is constantly running.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the automated, with the first down marker. I think it's been way overdue for them to do that. And I kind of like the nostalgia of having the chain gang out there. And I feel bad for those guys because, some of those guys are losing their jobs. But I think they're going to keep them for, some use. But for the most part, I think people want to, for speed of the game and really for accuracy, I think those things, technology is worth something in that capacity. And I do like the overtime rule of both teams getting a chance to get the ball. So, I don't have any real issues with any of these rule changes. Like I said, the nose wipe's a little odd, but if that's what they want to do, that's fine.
Yeah, so the first rule you mentioned was the let me see.
The nose wipe was the first rule.
That's the no fun league being no fun league. It is what it is. Like I to Pat's credit, we said I understand the throw slashing and the gun and that I totally understand. But
I just wiped my nose while you were talking.
So can I get a Kleenex? I mean, I don't get it. It's silly, but whatever. It's drawing for straws there. The other rule on the third one you mentioned about the
overtime.
Love that.
It's a great
way overdue for that one to get fixed, and it got fixed finally. Thank God. I'm a traditionalist. I love the chain gang. I love the whole like walking up to the on the field, measuring, and the whole crowd like waiting to see if it's the first down or not, and then you start seeing the reactions. It gets lower. I miss that. I'm gonna miss that part. So, look, I get it. It's about getting it right. I'm with you on that, but I will miss the chain gang. I think it was one of my favorite parts of the sport is that seeing that whole lead up to like 3rd and inches if it's right or 4th down, whatever. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But these rules are positive in for the most part, so I'm okay with these rules.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the nose wiping rule, but I am a fan of the other rules. So
Wait, not a fan of them taking it away?
Well, I like the celebrations. I remember, was it like 3, 4, 5 years ago when they really implemented a lot of no celebrations, that kind
Which
of
I hated.
stuff. It was terrible. And now it seems to me like they're back in some forms where people can, do stuff. I mean, baseball, if we're talking about other sports, baseball, like they're doing it way more than they've ever done. But now
they
with
got
the
appeal.
NFL. Yeah, exactly. So, our producer's telling us to move on here.
Yeah, Kleenex. Sorry.
Yeah, he wants us to talk about the Cleveland Browns more.
Yeah.
But
hey, look, they're first place right now.
Yeah,
so,
they are. The Green Bay Packers defensive end Micah Parsons, which we didn't really talk about a lot on the show last week because the deal hadn't been made.
Yeah.
He's dealing with a joint sprain in his back, and he might have to receive an injection before Sunday's game. Do you think that the Packers made the right choice and take it on Micah Parsons? Do you think that Jerry Jones messed up on this one, Pat, or how are you feeling about this deal?
Well, last week I thought Jerry was just going to wait until just before the game and sign him. So this was very surprising to me. Again, this goes back, I think, to the negotiations over the summer. And I think there's something there that we weren't privy to that was much worse than we thought. There was some miscommunication about Micah saying he agreed to something to Jerry or Jerry promising something to Micah without the agents involved. And then when the agents got involved, it became something different. And then I think it became more personal with Jerry and Micah than it normally would with another situation. I don't know if the injury, these teams are pretty good with knowing the conditions of their players. So I would be surprised if the Cowboys or the Packers didn't know about this back injury. And as you guys know, back injuries and neck injuries they're one of those types of injuries that they can become degenerative. They can become longer term. They can become, career ending, really, at a point. A guy who's 25, 26 years old with a back injury already, that's a red flag for me. I don't know if it's going to impact his play this year. I know they're talking about potentially him missing the first game, so it's already impacting it. So if you want to look at it from that standpoint, number one, did teams know? Did Dallas and Green Bay know about this prior to the trade? And if they did not, then Green Bay's got a real, issue with, getting damaged goods. If they did know about it and still went through with it, to me, it's a really cautionary tale because trust me, from a guy that's had a bad back since age 30, and these things can pop up, and you're trying to play football and you're trying to rush a passer, which is his primary thing, which he needs leverage and he needs leg strength and he needs his back to be working. If that's not 100% or close to it for the next 4 or 5 years, then Dallas got the absolute best part of this deal. So we'll have to see what shakes out. If he's somewhat healthy, I like Parsons. I think he's a game changer. But I don't think he's on the level like Lawrence Taylor, but he's a really, really good player. And if you're going to get 3 or 4 really good years out of him, then I think Green Bay made the right deal. But a back injury, I don't care what age you are, but if you're young and you're dealing with it, it doesn't usually get better as you get older. So I don't know. I'd love to know the complete backstory of this trade. But with what we know, I would say Dallas might have the upper hand right now on that one.
It's very possible. We won't know for another couple of years, though. Like right now in the short term, let's say the back injury isn't as serious as we think it is. Okay? In the short term, Green Bay wins. In the short term. Again, in the NFC right now, the only definitive team right now that's a Super Bowl contender, in my opinion, is the Eagles. The race number 2 is wide open now. And Green Bay now, with a move like this, put themselves in the conversation now to compete with Detroit and the Rams and the Niners and all those teams and Washington as well, too. But we'll see if that will be the case. Like, if the injury is a problem, then it's a problem, and Dallas wins that automatically. Dallas, in terms of Dallas, a lot of people comparing this to like the Herschel Walker trade. And you guys, I've probably seen the documentary on Netflix on the Cowboys, and the haul they got. Very possible. I mean, the thing is, those 2 first-round picks they got back for Green Bay are going to be likely 2 late-round picks because Green Bay will be a really good team in the next couple of years, obviously. But we won't know until the next couple of years. I will say this much for Dallas, though. We like to crap on Dallas all the time because it's fun to do so. America's team, the whole 9.
Yeah.
They do a good job actually of scouting. They've done a good job of drafting players through the years. Like, you're not 12-5 every year by accident. Okay, they are a good team. They just can't seem to win the big games when it matters. So give it a couple of years. We'll see if this thing plays out. Obviously, they might get injuries and the back stuff. If that's something that's going to linger for the next couple of years, could be an issue. But right now, in the short term, Green Bay won this deal.
Yep. Noah's checking in. He said he's happy that Mike is just not going to be playing in the game tomorrow night. The game that Noah's probably not going to see anyway. But thanks for the self-proclaimed genius champion for checking in.
And by the way, that's huge. If he misses Sunday's game, it's against Detroit. That's a huge game.
That's a big game.
It's a huge game.
Big divisional game. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, running down the rest of the injuries right now in the NFL. Rashee Rice, we know he's going to miss the first 6 games anyway, even though he is injured. Joe Mixon's obviously out for the first 4. Tyjae Spears is on the PUP list. He's going to miss the first 4. So is Chris Godwin. Maybe he can. Godwin might be able to join practice in week 2. Dalton Kincaid is probably going to miss the first week. Micah Parsons, obviously a big question mark. Devin Achane from the Dolphins looks like he's going to play in week 1. Tyreek Hill also, and Matthew Stafford is also expected to play in week number 1.
That Stafford one, I keep my eye on that one because he's year to year at this point now. If this thing is an issue, like Parsons, the difference between those 2 guys, Stafford is 10 years older than he is. More than 10 years older than he is. So he's year to year at this point.
Yep. Now it's time to look over each and every game for week 1 of the NFL.
Oh, boy.
And we're going to start with a Thursday night matchup. The Dallas Cowboys, formerly America's team, going in to play the team that won something last year.
Formerly? That's what Netflix told me that. They said this is America's team.
They're going to play against a team that won something last year.
Whatever.
Forget.
Birds.
Going in, that team, the Birds, is -8, 8-point favorites in this one. Who do we like in Dallas at Philadelphia, Pat?
Well, I think I'm going to go with the Eagles. First time Eagles are hosting Dallas in a season opener since 1970. That's hard to believe.
That long?
So I think this is going to be one of those games Thursday night. The whole country's watching. It's at home. The weather's going to be okay. There might be a little bit of rain, but I think the weather's going to be okay. I said this last week. I think the Eagles are the team to beat this year. They're a really good team, and they know they're good. That's a dangerous combination in sports. I compared them to the Florida Panthers. They won it big time against a tough team last year in Kansas City, so they know they're good. They know they're probably better than anybody in the AFC. I said this last week. The only team I think that might be able to give them a run for their money is San Francisco, and that's assuming if a lot of San Francisco's guys are healthy this year and they get some receivers back. I think Detroit takes a step back. I think Washington takes a step back. I'm still not completely sold on Green Bay. There's the Rams with Stafford's injury. I just don't know if he's going to be able to stay upright for the whole year. So I think this is, without an injury or some kind of a major distraction, I think the Eagles absolutely romp this year, and it's going to start on Thursday. I like them huge in this game. I think they're going to win like 30-10.
Ooh. Why did you see the report about when they unveiled the banner? The team's going to stay in the locker room.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
It's funny.
I like that.
I try to hate this team, and they do the right things that I love. You know what I mean? I hate this team, but they do the right things.
There's one reason everybody hates this team in this area.
Because it makes it hard, but they do the right things. And look, here's the deal. Divisional optics aside, this could be a competitive game. I see it being competitive in spots, but the Eagles will cover this spread by the time it's all said and done. This should be relatively easy. By the fourth quarter, I think they'll pull away. Give me Eagles cover the spread.
I'm looking for a competitive game early, but I think like Pat said, I think the Eagles are going to blow them out. Noah surprisingly picked the Eagles also. That's a shocker.
No, that's a shocker. Good job, man.
I just think it's a nice way to start the season. I'm really looking forward to that game tomorrow night. Then move on to Friday. We have Kansas City at L.A. Chargers. Kansas City's favored by 3 in that one. How are we feeling, Pat?
Now, is this the Brazil game? So technically they're,
yes.
Yep.
All right, so it's really not a home game for the Chargers.
Mm-mm.
Chargers are my dark horse team in the AFC. I think this is where Jim Harbaugh usually, by his second year, gets a team in position to do something. Now, Herbert's been one of those guys that, you got a lot of potential, and he seems to get to a certain level, and then he doesn't quite cross over that threshold and become a great quarterback. But that's Harbaugh's strength. Getting the most, like with Colin Kaepernick, this is where, right in his wheelhouse, to get a guy to that next level. So we're going to see. Now, he lost one of his great protectors on the offensive line, Rashawn Slater, for the year. That's going to hurt. But I love the Chargers because they're really under the radar. I'm going to take them to win this game. I think Kansas City at some point has to take a little bit of a step back. They had a great year last year, winning a bunch of games, but maybe that finally starts to age or complacency or whatever you want to say starts catching up with them a little bit. This is the time for a team like the Chargers, who I think are on the rise, and I think are going to surprise some people. This is the type of game they do it. So if they were at home, true home, I'd really love them in this game. But I still think this is a good spot for them to surprise some people and win this game.
Yeah, Pat, you have the same vibe, man. Like this team is ripe to not only make the playoffs, but win the division. I think also too. And even I'm concerned they lost their left tackle. It's a big injury. Herbert is like a tier 2 quarterback. He's right there. He's about to make that ascent. He's had to win big games, whatnot. And I think this is a big showcase game for him to really, make a splash. And I think that they will win this game actually outright. And I have a take for KC, which I'll reveal on when we do our predictions, of course. But I think Chargers win this game, honestly.
Yeah, I really do like the rookie running back for the Chargers. I actually drafted him in 2 of my fantasy leagues.
Yeah.
But I really feel like Kansas City has to come out and fire in all cylinders because of what happened to them in the Super Bowl. Everybody expects that they're going to, they're not going to be the same team. They're not going to be this Chiefs dynasty that they seem to have going on for a while. But I'm really expecting the Chiefs to come out and win this game. I'd like to see what Travis Kelce's looking like now. He's shed some weight, got engaged.
Now.
That pressure's off now. So I'm actually going to take Kansas City to win here.
And they'll win because I picked them. Because I picked the Chargers. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm taking Kansas City in that 8 o'clock Friday night game. Now we move on to the 1 p.m. Sunday games. We're going to start off with Tampa Bay going to Atlanta, where Tampa Bay is favored by 2.5. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa, this is not a great division, the NFC South, and Tampa, I think, is the class of that division. I still love Baker Mayfield. I thought it was a mistake for teams when Cleveland got rid of him that needed a quarterback because he was hurt. He had a shoulder injury that was not nearly completely healed, and I just thought he was a gamer. He's one of those guys that's just going to give you everything he has. I don't know if he's going to win a Super Bowl, but he's one of those guys that is going to play hard, loves to win, and carries teams on his shoulders. So I think he's going to have a similar year this year. I think they're going to play really well. And even though it's on the road against Atlanta, I like Tampa Bay here to cover and to win the game outright.
Yeah, Tampa is the best team in the division. But, this is the thing about Week 1. Week 1 is always surprises here and there. Everybody's excited. Everybody's 0-0, including the Cleveland Browns. Thanks, Jake. I look, I think, again, divisional optics matter also, too. I think for just 1 week, the Atlanta Falcons will come out and firing all cylinders. You got Michael Penix making his first start now as the starting quarterback from training camp in. Give me the Falcons in the upset, so-called upset, if you call it.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay on the road in this one. Again, favored by 2.5. Noah did pick the Chargers. He hasn't given us a pick yet. I know he's a big Tampa Bay fan, but I don't know if he's picking
Dude, he's a huge Baker Mayfield fan.
Oh, loves Baker Mayfield. Now we're going to move on to Cincinnati at Cleveland, where Cincinnati goes in favored by 4.5. Go ahead, Pat.
Well, I mean, this is a big statement by Cincinnati. They start off every year, it seems, horrendously. last year they lost to New England at home, and New England was terrible. Cleveland, we all think is going to be really bad this year. This is probably the healthiest Joe Flacco is going to be. This is a super tough call for me because I really like Cincinnati. I like their offense, and they got Hendrickson back on the defense. I know the defense is going to be a problem. I got to take Cleveland here just because Cleveland's probably going to stink this year, but just like I think what Earnest is saying, you're going to get some shockers in this first week. And until Cincinnati proves differently, I'm going to keep betting against them in September. So I'm going to take Cleveland.
Yeah, I could see that. And historically, they do give the Bengals issues in the Burrow era. Oh my God! But I know the Bengals after what they went through last year and all these like one-score losses. They had 8 of them last year, I believe, and they lost the wild card by a tiebreaker. They're going to take it a little more serious. Look, is their defense improve? We shall see. But that offense is still probably best in football. Mm-hmm. I'll take Cincy this one, honestly, and I'll take them to cover because I just think they're where these teams are right now, currently in the direction they're going in, is the opposite. And I think the Bengals are just like a clear better team. I think they will see the need to make sure to take care of business now. Don't let these games slip by because, again, last year was an atrocity for them. So get the Bengals win this game and win running away.
Yeah, Cincinnati started off slow last year. I don't see that happening again. I see this being a very high-scoring game. I'm taking Cincinnati to cover easily. Jake, who are you picking in this one?
I did pick Cleveland.
Okay, Jake's
Why?
the only one who picked Cleveland.
Home opener, the energy is strong. Okay, I think Cleveland's got.
You are aware that Joe Flacco is your quarterback, right?
And you know what? I'm okay.
You're
Super
aware,
Bowl winning
you are
Joe
aware
Flacco.
This is 2025, not 2012.
Okay.
Let's be clear.
Jake is over here. He's our producer, and he's picking Cleveland. Nobody knows why.
I'm moving the Browns to win the game for the record, but I just don't see it.
Now we're going to go Miami at Indy, where Indy is favored by 1. What do you like, Pat?
Yeah, I think, I still got to go with Miami here. I know it's on the road and it's tough to open anywhere, but Indy is just one of those teams to me that they keep going back and forth with quarterbacks with Daniel Jones and Richardson. When you start doing that, it's just tough to get continuity with the team and a rhythm. Indy should win this game being at home, but I'm going to take the Dolphins. I don't have a ton of faith in this pick, but I just think Tua and the receivers and what they got on offense is enough to beat Daniel Jones and the Colts. So I'm going to take Miami.
Wait, Pat, forget it's not Daniel Jones anymore. It's Indiana Jones.
Yes.
I do like that. I appreciate that.
Having said that, look, I pissed off a couple people this week saying this. Look, this is a must-win for the Dolphins. I'm sorry. Because if they lose this game in Indianapolis, rather, you're going to hear the calls early for Mike McDaniel, for Chris Greer to lose their jobs. Because the next 2 weeks, they play the Patriots and the Bills. So, to me, I know there's no must-wins in week 1. I don't give a crap. This is my world. This must-wins week 1. Okay, the Dolphins need to win this game, and they will win this game. So, give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins to win this game, too. Again, Indianapolis is favored by 1. Noah's taking Indy in this game, but I'm expecting a fast start for the Dolphins. Yeah. I think Tyreek Hill has something to prove
this year. As long as they're
year.
Healthy, as you said in the report earlier, that Hill's going to play and Achane's going to play. They're fine, yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami on the road. Now we move on to the barn burner game of the week. It's Carolina at Jacksonville. Jacksonville favored by 3. What do we like, Pat?
Well, these are two teams with quarterbacks that need at some point here soon to really elevate themselves to be worthy of the first round picks with Stroud and my man Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to go Jacksonville just because it's a home pick, and I think again Trevor's got to at some point something's got to click for this kid. So I'm going to take Jacksonville at home. It's again almost a coin toss. Carolina did play a lot better last year, so I got to give them credit for that. So maybe they are a little bit on the uptick here, but I think going on the road is going to be tough. So I'm going to take Jacksonville.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence is not a bust by any means, but it's definitely underwhelming for his career 4 years in. So this is a big year for Trevor Lawrence. And Bryce Young did end the year very well. He got benched, I think, week 3. Came back, I think, week 8 or 9, and played good football at the end of the year. So I'm actually intrigued by this game a little bit. That being said, the Jags, they're the better team, in my opinion. Give me the Jags win this game. Although I think Carolina will be a solid, frisky team this year. But give me the Jags this week.
I'm going to take the upset in this. I'm going to take Carolina on the road. I expect a big game from Chuba Hubbard. who I wasn't able to draft.
I was just going to ask you that. You had him last year.
I don't this year, but I think Carolina's going to win this one on the road. Now we're going to move on to my team against Sully's team, Las Vegas. The Raiders going to New England, where New England is favored by 2.5. Sully, wait, hey Sully, who are you picking in this one? Yeah,
He's such a homer. I don't know who's worse, you or Jake.
Yeah, Sully says Pat's no question. How do you feel, Pat?
Well, listen, I like what the Raiders have done. I still think Pete Carroll's a decent coach. He's getting up there. Geno Smith's one of those guys. I'm glad he got a second chance. I still just think he's a slightly above average quarterback. But I like the fact that the Raiders are trying. They're trying to do something different with that team, and I like Max Crosby. But I really like New England, maybe to be a playoff team this year. You know, you got my guy Mike Vrabel in there as coach.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see more out of May as the quarterback. But the guy I really like is that running back they got from Ohio State. I think his name's Trayvon Henderson.
Yep, I got my fancy.
Man, I think that kid's going to be the offensive rookie of the year. He is explosive. Ran back a touchdown on the opening kickoff in preseason.
Yep.
Those types of guys, you know, again, we always joke a little bit about preseason, but you can tell a lot about running backs in preseason just by shiftiness and quickness and burst and all that. And that kid's got it. I think if the Patriots use him correctly, which I think they will because they still have a young quarterback, so they're going to rely a little bit more on the run game. I really like the Patriots to surprise people this year and maybe get in the playoffs. So I'm going to take the Patriots in this one. But I think it's going to actually be a pretty good game, believe it or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of Patriots, love for coming on, the last couple of months. The over number was 8.5. And I'm like, I don't understand why. And I know Vrabel's a friend. I'm a huge Vrabel guy, so I get that part. But Vegas will be one of those teams this year. It's not going to reflect on the record, but they're going to be one of those hard-out as Geno Smith is as you said, above-average quarterback. They got Gentry running back, of course. They got some weapons here and there to play with and whatnot. You got, of course,
Amari Cooper.
Yeah. Well, and the other guy, Brock Bowers.
Yeah,
the tight end.
Bowers,
so they got guys to work with. You know what I'm saying? But something is brewing in New England, and I don't know what it is. This is one of those games I'm going to look at very, very closely this weekend. Honestly, it's not a sexy Week 1 schedule game, but it's one of those games you know what? Let me see if the hype is real on this Patriots team. Having said that, I'll take the Pats.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are going to be a frisky team.
Yes.
I just made that up. I don't know
frisky?
if you've ever heard that or not.
What, frisky?
Yeah.
I always use that.
Yeah, I know. New England, again, is favored by 2.5 at home, but I am taking the Raiders to give me some promise after the first week and then to let me down
Hold on.
always.
So wait. So you're back now? You're a Raider fan again?
Well, for the first couple of weeks, yeah.
Oh, my God, you're the worst.
Until they let me down or the team falls apart. Come on.
Next game.
Now we're going to move on to Arizona at New Orleans, where New Orleans looks like they could be the worst team in the league. Arizona goes in favored by 6. How do we feel, Pat?
Yeah, I've always said that I like Kyler Murray. I think he's good enough to win you 8 games just running around.
Yep.
I know Noah can't stand him, but I like Arizona in this game just because, like you said, I don't know if I can name somebody on New Orleans' team right now. I'm trying to think who's on their team. I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
That's it. Yeah.
You're right. They could really be abysmal this year. If they win more than 3 games, I think that's a huge success. So I don't think this is one of them. I think Arizona goes in there and beats them.
If you heard the podcast week, so I told you the easiest future bet to take was the Saints minus 6.5 wins this year and the way under. That thing is way too high. 6.5 wins? That's way too high. And if I'm the Saints right now, I'm trading out my parts. You have Kamara still there, trade him off. Get some assets back. Chris Olave, trade him off. Get some parts back for that one. Arizona, another frisky team. Kyler Murray's one of those quarterbacks, right? He's a top 16 guy in the league. Sometimes look a top 5 guy, sometimes look a bottom 5 guy. Depends on the week. If there's no video games out this week and the next couple weeks coming up, he'll be fine. I'm taking Zona. I think Saints will be the worst team in football this year.
Yeah, Arizona's going in 6-point favorites. I'm taking them to win big in this one. Noah did pick Jacksonville, and he also picked the Raiders. So now we're going to move on to a game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to play the New York Jets at home, and in the Jets' home, obviously. And they're going to go in favored by 2.5. Who do you have winning this one, Pat?
Well, lots of intrigue with Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields switching teams, games on the road. This normally for me would be a horrendous game, like a 17-10, maybe where the defense scores and the Steelers find a way to win. The X factor is obviously Aaron Rodgers. And again, just like Joe Flacco, he's old, but he's probably as healthy as he's going to be this year for this game. And there's going to be a motivating factor because the Jets dumped him last year. So I'm going to take the Steelers in this game. I still can't bring myself to say that it's going to be some kind of an offensive revelation here, but I'm think it's a low-scoring game. I think the over/under is like 38.
3.5. Yeah, I saw last night. 3.5.
I take the under.
That's
on that
easy
one.
Under. Yep.
And it's going to be. I still don't think it's going to be a great game, but I think the Steelers find a way to win.
On my podcast every week, we do a best bets, and the best bet from this game for me was the under in this game because that is the best bet. I'm high on the Steelers here. I think if all things equal, if T.J. Watt's healthy, Aaron Rodgers comes back to form a little bit, you got Mike Tomlin, you have a good coach, you have a good roster. This team is a playoff team. I mean, they're a playoff team with less than. So I think the Steelers win this game. Jets are horrible in my opinion. Take the under this game. The under is the easiest under. I see like a 27-7 game, honestly.
Yeah, I'm taking the Pittsburgh on the road. I think their MVP, Chris Boswell, is going to have a good game. Again, Pittsburgh's going in favored by 2.5, and that's who I'm taking this week. And now we move on to a game Earnest is probably going to be interested in. The New York Giants are traveling to Washington to play the Commanders, where the Commanders are favored by 4.5. Go ahead, Pat.
I got to go Commanders in this one. I think they take a little bit of step back this year, just because that's normally what happens with a young quarterback like Jalen Daniels. You have an exciting, breakout year, and then reality starts hitting in a little bit. Expectations go up. Teams have film on you, all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to take them in this game. But I wouldn't be surprised if Washington isn't quite as good as last year. That's not to say that they're not going to be good in the future. I think they will be. I just think this year, with all the hype around them, usually that translates into not quite as dynamic a season as you had last year. So I'm going to take the Commanders in this one.
I have the same vibe as you two with Washington overall this year. I think they'll be this year's Houston Texans, honestly. But I wish I had a signal upset alert. Look, I don't know if I'll go as far as calling the upset, but I am taking the Giants. I am taking the Giants on the points this week.
Okay, somebody clip this.
There is something about this team this year look, they're not a playoff team, but they're going to be one of those teams that they're going to be hard out every week. That defense on paper looks menacing, honestly. As long as they don't turn over the football, they will be fine. They could be as good as an 8-9 team this year if they do all those things. I like Washington win this game overall, probably, but the Giants on the points, easiest points, plus 6.5, I think it was, you said?
4.5.
Oh, 4.5 now.
Yeah, 4.5.
Still the Giants.
Yeah.
Still Giants. It's my team. I'm a homer.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised it's only 4.5. I'm still going to take Washington this one at home.
Because you hate me. That's why.
Well, this because I hate Earnest. I'm taking Washington at home. Again, they're favored by 4.5, and that was the last 1 o'clock game we're going to talk about. Now moving on to the 4 o'clock games. We start with Tennessee at Denver, where Denver is favored by 7.5. Go ahead, Pat.
Well, before we get to that, by the way, Russell Wilson did have a really good game in Washington last year for the Steelers. So if he does anything close to that, there could be an upset there.
Let him know, Pat. Let him know.
So in this one, though, we talked about New Orleans. I think Tennessee might be the worst team in the AFC. I just don't have any kind of a feel for them this year. So I'm going to – they're playing Denver, right?
Yes.
I'm going to take Denver. Again, I think Bo Nix takes a little bit of a step back after a great rookie year. Teams have film on him. Expectations are high, all that kind of stuff. I think the defense is really going to be good in Denver, but I'm going to take Denver in this game, but only because I think Tennessee's just awful.
This is my lock of the week. This is my lock of the week. Tennessee's if the Saints are the worst team in football, Tennessee's number 2. Okay, this year's all about Cam Ward, seeing the development Cam Ward. That's it, and Cal Ridley, of course, and that whole combo. But outside of those two guys, who do they have? Like seriously, this is gonna be the worst team in football this year, outside New Orleans, of course. Denver, was it 8 points? You said?
It's 7.5.
Oh, stealing money. Lock of the week. Denver Broncos, let's go.
Yeah, Noah said Denver runs for 300 yards. I'm hoping that 300 yards is from R.J. Harvey.
Me too.
I'm going to take Denver to win big in this one also. Now we're going to move on to San Francisco at Seattle. San Francisco favored by 2.5. Go ahead, Pat.
All right. Well, here's, if San Fran is going to be the team I think they're going to be, then they go into Seattle. I know Sam Darnold, had the magic year last year. Seattle might be one of those sneaky bad teams this year. They lost, their coach. They don't have Geno there anymore. DK Metcalf is gone. If San Fran is the team I think they are going to be this year, and I know they've got receiver issues, but they still got Kittles. They still got McCaffrey, again, who are going to be as healthy as they're going to be at any point right now. I really think San Fran romps in this game. I'm taking them big time. I think the Sam Darnold magic is over after 1 year, and Seattle is fighting for a 4-5 win season. So we'll see.
The word is frisky there, Pat. Seattle's frisky this year. No, I hate that I missed last week's show because you guys covered the NFC West. San Fran's schedule is the easiest in football. They play every bottom feeder this year. Everyone, you name it. They play it. Tennessee, New Orleans, you name it. They play it. They should moonwalk to 12 wins minimum this year, okay? And they'll win this game easy against Seattle. Give me San Francisco.
Were you sitting over at the airport, like, screaming, like, and everybody's looking at you, like, San Francisco's going to win 12 games?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
I would have loved to have a video.
Like, calm down, guy. Yeah. Calm down.
You almost got kicked out of the airport for that. I'm taking.
Well, me the first time.
Yeah, I'm taking San Francisco to win big in this one. I agree. I think San Francisco puts it all together. I'm expecting a big performance from Christian McCaffrey as they go into Seattle and win. Now we move
He's
on.
Healthy now. He's healthy now. Right now he's healthy. So.
Exactly. Right now at this moment.
Yes.
Well, we'll call him. Let's see.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Text him.
Right now we have. Now we're going to move on to Detroit at Green Bay. Green Bay favored at home by 2.5. Go ahead, Pat.
Well, normally I would jump on Green Bay if Micah was playing. Being at home, everybody's excited. I think Detroit takes a little step back this year. They've always had trouble winning in Green Bay anyway. But I'm gonna assume that Micah is not playing. I don't think they're gonna risk playing him just to play him. I think they're gonna be careful with him. If he does not play, I still think it's a very competitive game. I'm going to take Green Bay anyway, just because I think Detroit, like I said, some of the magic is gone there, and they've had trouble winning in Green Bay no matter what. And I think this is it's a good game, but I think with Jordan Love and being at home, first game, I think Green Bay finds a way to win.
So I know the game we're covering, the 2 games from now we're covering is the game of the week, and rightly so. But this is my game of the week here, Detroit Green Bay, because of everything that goes into it. Detroit lose both the coordinators. That's got to cost you something. Green Bay gets Micah Parsons. He may not play. This is, measuring stick game here, because after Philadelphia, who's number 2 in the NFC? We don't know. There's no clear number 2.
We don't know.
This game goes a long way of showing, at least starting that conversation about who's number 2 in the conference. Detroit would be that team, but again, I don't know if losing Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn is going to cost you anything. We'll see. I'm taking, even with Micah not playing, if he doesn't play, I'll take Green Bay this game because of the optics. But I'll tell you what, this is a huge game. It's only week 1.
Yeah, I'm going to take Detroit on the road. I think they have a lot to prove this year after losing so much. I'm going to take them to win at Green Bay.
Well, if Jared Goff is top 5 quarterback, as NFL.com said, this is your time to shine.
We're going to see. Shout out to Steffi, Mo, and Noah, who are both checking in right now. Now we move on to Houston at L.A. Rams. L.A. Rams are favored by 3.
Yeah, this is a venue pick for me. If this game was in Houston, I would take Houston, but I'm L.A. Again, I'm going to assume that Stafford's as healthy as he's going to be probably right now. The Rams they've got some good receivers. They've got good offensive parts. I think their defense is going to be pretty good. Houston, I think they took the step back last year, but I think they're back this year. I think I called Stroud young Stroud last time, but I think Stroud definitely makes some more strides this year. This game will probably be closer than people think. But I'm still going to take the Rams just because they're at home.
There's a lot of great games this week, man. And this was one of those sneaky, really good games. Like, these are 2 playoff teams here. You know what I mean? That maybe not necessarily, well, the Rams could be on the fringe of Super Bowl contention, whatever. But Houston's one of those teams that are trying to figure out, okay, we know they're going to win the division. Can they compete with the top 3 in the AFC?
Yeah.
This is one of those games, this is one of these measuring stick games going forward we judge them by. That being said, Stafford right now is probably healthiest going to be all year long. I'll take the Rams win this game, but I would not be shocked if Houston wins this game.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Devontae Adams with the Rams and getting thrown the ball by Matthew Stafford, a healthy, hopefully, Matthew Stafford, who is expected to play in Week 1. I like Pat. I'm going to take the Rams at home, again, favored by 3 points. Now we move on to the Sunday night game. This is a good one. Baltimore at Buffalo. Baltimore goes in favored by 1.
I really like Baltimore this year. I know I've taken the Chargers as my dark horse, but I think Baltimore is the class of the AFC. I think I know Lamar's had a lot of issues in the playoffs, and he can't seem to get by Kansas City, or he can't get by Buffalo, or sometimes he doesn't have problems with the Steelers. I think this is his year. I think if Lamar is going to be the transcendental player that we think he can be, this is the time for him to take that next step and get this team over the hump and win 15 games, have the best record in the AFC and home field and all that kind of stuff. This is the first game in that step. I think Buffalo, I mentioned this last year when Buffalo lost in the playoffs and Detroit lost in the playoffs. I said, where do these teams go after this? They've thrown everything they can at the kitchen sink at Kansas City or whoever their bugaboo team was, Detroit. And they weren't able to do it. Like they weren't able to get to the Super Bowl. And they seemed like they were stacked. I know Detroit had injuries on defense, but I still feel like Buffalo. This is Josh Allen. I think this is his 8th season, and he just can't seem to get over the hump. I think Baltimore being on the road actually helps them. And I look for them not to win the game easily, but I think Baltimore tries to make an opening statement, and this is it. If they lose this game, I don't know. It's not the end of the season or anything by any means like that. Buffalo's a tough place to play. But I really think if Baltimore's going to do what I think they can do this year, this is step one. So I'm going to take Baltimore.
Depends how they lose, obviously, to your point, though. And Pat, you probably agree with me on this, too, also. This is, to me, this year feels like a put-up or shut-up year for the Ravens. Like, not even saying win a Super Bowl. You got to get there. Like, if they don't get the Super Bowl this year with this roster.
Yeah. Like, what do they do?
Where are they going? I think John Harbaugh could be gone. That's simple.
I think you could be right.
Yeah, so you have John Harbaugh. Lamar being the long-term, obviously, because Lamar's the guy. But John Harbaugh could be gone. Derrick Henry's getting older. This is a huge game for Baltimore, for perception purposes, of course. Like, Buffalo doesn't really need this game. I mean, good to have it. But for Baltimore to change perception who they are going forward, they need this game. And I think they'll win. I think they win going away against the Ravens.
Okay, you remember last year Baltimore actually started off 0-2.
Yeah.
And I believe that Baltimore is going to come into Buffalo. They're going to put on a show. I think Baltimore is going to win this one.
And that might have hurt them, too, because they could have home field against Buffalo last year.
Yep.
Now, granted, they beat Buffalo and blew them out last year during the season. I think week 6, week 7 was. But, this is a huge – this is already a game of the year.
Yeah, already. We're starting off the year on a high note. I'm taking Baltimore on the road again. Baltimore is favored by 1. And now we move to the Monday night game, divisional matchup, Minnesota at Chicago. Minnesota favored by 1.
I'm taking Chicago in this game. I'm not huge on Chicago, but I think with new offensive coordinator from Detroit, Caleb Williams having another year under his belt, getting a little bit more stability with that organization. I like them being at home. Minnesota, I think, is one of those teams that people, for some reason, think are going to be really good. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, yeah, they got a good coach and all that. But Bill Belichick was a good coach at one time, too. If you don't have the quarterback,
shots fired.
Chuck Noll was a good coach for a long time, too. And then he didn't have Terry Bradshaw anymore. We'll see. We'll see what kind of coach O'Connell is, because I'm not completely sold on J.J. McCarthy. I have no idea what to expect out of him. But all these prognosticators are like, oh, Minnesota's going to be right there. I'm like, based on what? They got Justin Jefferson and they got some players, but the guy that's running the team, we don't know anything about him. And I have no idea what to expect from Minnesota. I just think they might be a surprise bad team. We talked about some surprise good teams, but this might be a surprise bad team if McCarthy doesn't come out and is firing darts everywhere. I think you'll see frustration level get up there with the receivers, and there might be some issues on offense with that team. So I'm taking the Bears. It's not a strong pick because the Bears have been one of those just schlub teams for the last few years, but I think they finally have some stability at the coaching level, and hopefully they're going to get something out of Caleb Williams to justify being the number 1 overall pick. So I'm going to take them being at home, but I really want to watch this game to see what type of team Minnesota is, more so than what I think Chicago is. So
Yeah.
I'm taking Chicago, but I really don't think you're going to see a great deal out of Minnesota, especially early in the year.
Well, we don't know. Both these teams have massive question marks. Like Chicago's roster is good enough to compete for a wild card in that conference. Minnesota, we saw last year with Sam Darnold what he did, 14 wins last year. We just don't know how good McCarthy is. So there's a lot of question marks. I'm actually glad this game is actually by itself on Monday Night Football because we can actually assess McCarthy in that moment when playing in Chicago. I'll take Chicago in this game just because of the optics, because it's in Chicago, and look, you're asking a lot to play on the road and under that spotlight too, especially too in week 1. But I don't think it necessarily means anything bad for Minnesota going forward. But also missing Addison for 3 weeks also, that's not going to help you as well too. So they could double up on Jay Jetta on this game too as well. So I just think for this 1 week, Chicago wins this game, but I do think it'll be a competitive game. I'm very glad it's by itself among all the other games this week. So give me Chicago.
Yeah, Noah's picking Minnesota. He says Chicago has a very good up-and-coming quarterback.
According to Noah is a big Caleb Williams fan. So
yeah, he loves Caleb Williams. He said this is going to be his breakout year in a sophomore season.
I mean, Ben Johnson is a good coach, man. We'll see.
Yeah, if you know the show, Noah hates Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
He said that he's a terrible quarterback, but I am actually still taking Chicago at home in this one, and that is the lineup of games. We're going to go back over these games in NFL Quick Picks a little bit later in the show. But now we're going to do our NFL season preview, and what we're going to talk about is divisional winners, conference winners, Super Bowl winner, player awards, and what team is going to surprise everyone. So let's go through the divisions. We already did the divisions every week, but now let's remind people in the AFC North, you have the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers. Who's winning the AFC North, Pat?
Well, I mean, I think I made it clear. I think this is the Ravens' year. I think Lamar gets over whatever humps he's been trying to get over, and you really see what kind of talent he has, and I think the Ravens win that division relatively easily. But I think the Bengals are going to, if the Bengals can do anything defensively, and that's a big if. They struggled even in the preseason on defense, so they're going to have to outscore a lot of teams 35-30 and all that kind of stuff. The thing is, Joe Burrow can do that, and they came on strong at the end of last year, and almost made the playoffs. Probably should have. So I think the Bengals are going to give the Ravens a little bit of a run in this division, but I still think this is the Ravens' year. I'm going to take them. Steelers and Browns round that out. I'm not sure. I don't think the Browns are a playoff team, and the Steelers are going to be the usual, right on the bubble there. But this division, I think, is Ravens, and I really don't think it's going to be super close. I think they have enough to beat the Bengals probably twice, and that'll seal the division for them.
Yeah, easy pick here. It's the Ravens here by a landslide here. I think this is their year also. We'll obviously you'll see as we get through this preview how good I am on the Ravens. But yeah, this is their year. This is a put up shop year for the Ravens. So, but again, I think also the Steelers and the Bengals are going to be in contention for this division. I guess wild card definitely in my opinion, but Ravens are the clear class of this division and probably the conference. We'll see.
Yeah, Ravens are favored at minus 160 in this one. I think we got to take the Ravens. Now moving on to the NFC North, where the Packers are favored by plus 165. You got Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings. Who do we like, Pat?
Yeah, I still got to go with the Lions here. I like I've mentioned, I think they take a step back. I think they won 15 games last year. So I don't think they do that this year. They're obviously going to be healthier on defense because they have to be. They were the most injured team, I think, on defense by a mile last year. The odd thing was they were the healthiest team on offense last year, according to all metrics. So that will probably not happen again. They'll probably have some offensive injuries, and maybe the defense stays a little healthier. With all that said, I still think they find a way to win the division. I think Green Bay is right there. I think Chicago's probably again, if Ben Johnson is who I think he is, maybe they surprised some people and are at least in the wild card consideration. And I think Minnesota takes a big step back more than people think. So I'm going Detroit with a close second to Green Bay.
So Green Bay's a favorite because of the Micah trade. I think that was adjusted because of the Micah trade. This is definitely a top 2 or 3 division in the league. Okay, all 4 of these teams have a case to make the playoffs this year. All 4 of these teams. I'm going to still go Detroit for the time being, even with all the changes they made with the coordinators. But I think if Green Bay is who we think they could be going forward, I think this could be down to the wire in Week 18. I think Detroit will take a step back. Green Bay takes a little bit of a step forward. So that could be a situation where, like, one of these teams win 12, one was 13. We'll see. But I'm going to take Detroit for the time being, though.
Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay, the favorite, again at plus 165 to win the NFC North. Now we move AFC East. That is the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and the Jets. Right now, the Bills favorite at minus 300.
Yeah, I think the Bills, again, even though I think they take a little bit of a step back this year, but they're sort of like New England was a few years ago. There's just nobody in this division ready to jump up and dethrone them at this point. I think New England gives them a little bit of a run, getting their feet wet to try and figure out if they're going to be a good team or not. And I think, again, I really like that running back for New England. The Dolphins are one of those mystery X teams that you just don't know what you're going to get from them. You don't know if Tua's going to stay healthy. You don't know what's going to happen on defense with them. They just seem to end up being 8-8, 8-9, 9-8 in that zone. So I'm not ready to say that they're up and coming or anything because they're just a mystery team. And the Jets, they still have that core group of young guys that are pretty good, but I'm not completely sold on Justin Fields. I think he's an okay quarterback, but he ain't going to elevate them to anything beyond winning 6 or 7 games. So give me the Buffalo Bills. I think they come back to earth a little bit, but New England isn't ready to win that division yet. So I think Buffalo wins it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Buffalo is the heavy favorite in this division. Although I got to say with Miami, a lot of people, even Dolphin fans who are normally very annoying about, our year. This year, most of them are down on the Dolphins, which could, I guess, bode well. Opposite day, I guess, when they call it.
Don't expect it much.
So maybe Miami does surprise folks and maybe challenge my Buffalo for the division. We'll see. That Week 3 game against the Bills is going to be huge. If they're 2-0 going into that game, that's going to be huge. So, but ultimately, try and true, go with the Bills. Josh Allen, top 3 guy in the league. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take Joshy, as Noah calls him. I don't know if he's like.
It's adorable, isn't it?
I don't know if he's that close and he's able to call him Joshy, but he does. At negative 300, again, they're the favorite to win the East. NFC East, we got the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and the Commanders, and the Eagles are favored at minus 150.
Well, I love the Eagles. I think they're set to win another Super Bowl. Again, without distraction or injury, I think they get there easily. I think they dominate this division. I think Washington takes a little bit of a step back. I kind of like Schottenheimer at Dallas, but I do not like Dak Prescott. I just don't think he's a big game quarterback. The Giants are probably going to be a little bit better than people think. I do like Russell Wilson, at least in the short term, to give them a little bit of a boost. But again, those other teams are kind of just in the mushy middle. So I'm going to take the Eagles, and I think they might win 15 games this year. They're that good, and I'm assuming they're going to be healthy, and Sirianni is going to keep them, pedal to the metal. So I really love the Eagles in that division.
I'm telling you, the Giants, man.
What about them?
The Giants, look out. Joking aside, of course.
Yeah, no, he is.
It's the Eagles, brother. It's the Eagles. The best, the clear best team in football right now. They should repeat, honestly. We'll see if I pick them to repeat. This is nothing. I mean, I think the real battle here is for 3 and 4 because we all agree that the pecking order is Eagles and Commanders, right? You got the Redskins. But
you like that?
That's cute. I like that.
You like that?
Don't show them though. I think Dallas can go either way now with this situation with with Micah being gone and who knows if Dak stays healthy and all this stuff. The Giants are going to be much better, I think, this year on paper. The schedule's a little tough, but we'll see how that plays out. But, yeah, to win the division, come on, man. The Eagles are bust, man. Let's go.
Yeah, Noah, surprisingly, he actually picked the Commanders to win. No, I'm just kidding. He likes the Eagles, too. He's like on cloud nine because Pat likes him
Look at
too.
notice that.
What? Why disrespect the
That's
show
the
like
Giants,
that,
the Giants.
Ernest?
That's the Giants. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got offended by that.
Yeah, we're all taking the Eagles in that division. AFC South, we got the Texans, the Colts, the Titans, and the Jaguars, where the Texans are favored plus 105.
Wake me up there, Michael. I mean, throw a blanket on any of those teams. I guess I'm going to take the Texans just because I do think that they're a decent team, but the rest of those teams, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, I don't get any warm and fuzzies from them. They're all just kind of average to, maybe win a shocking game during the year. But I'll take the Texans, but it's just because the rest of that division I don't think is that great.
I have got some intel. The Jaguars are much better this year. One of my really good close friends covers the Jaguars.
I know who you're talking
My
about.
boy Kyle.
Oh, no,
My boy Kyle, yeah.
Okay, I thought it was
He
the
said
other
they're going to be
guy.
much better. He didn't say they win the division, but he said they're going to challenge. I don't see it. Houston still got C.J. Stroud, who had a down year last year by his standards, but it's Houston a bust. Come on, man. What are we doing here? What I want to see with Houston is are they ready to the next step? Are they going to be the team challenging KC, Baltimore, or Buffalo? If not, whatever.
Yeah.
But to win the division, no, that's whatever.
Yeah, Texans easily. NFC South, you got the Falcons, you got the Panthers, the Saints, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This is snooze.
Yeah, this might be the worst one. Buccaneers favored by minus 110.
Yeah, I'm taking Baker Mayfield until somebody proves me wrong. I do like Penix. I like Michael Penix. I think he could be a decent quarterback. But the rest of that division is just New Orleans is going to be god awful. And Carolina, I think, is just maybe going to be okay, but that's not a ringing endorsement. I think Tampa, but Tampa's not great. Tampa will probably win the division with like 11 wins, but they'll do what they need to do in that division to win it. But I don't think they do much after that.
Yeah, low bar. Low bar. Yeah, it's the Bucs, man. What are we doing here? Come on.
Yeah, even Noah said he likes the Bucs and he hates it, and he doesn't believe your source about the
I don't believe him
Jaguars.
either. I'm with Noah on that one for once. I actually agree with him. I don't have the Jaguars win division, but we can see.
I don't know how anybody except maybe Patrick Tiller could pick anybody but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's because Tiller is a homer.
Yeah. He traveled to New York for you. So
He's surprised. Did you see the surprise?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
I
That
said
was
he
amazing.
texted, actually, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Tiller. Now we're moving on to
What a
AFC
jerk.
West. You got the Broncos, you got the Chiefs, you got the Raiders, and the Chargers. Chiefs are the favorite at a negative 115.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with the Chiefs just because, again, they got Mahomes and he's still relatively young and that team, well coached by Andy Reid but again, as I go back, the Chargers are my surprise team. I don't think they have quite enough to win the division, but I think the Chargers make it as a wild card. I think this is Jim Harbaugh's MO, where he gets a team that might be a little bit, with some talent, but they're kind of directionless and get them in a good direction. And I think this is the year he does it. I think the Chargers come in second there. I think Denver takes a little bit of a step back.
I agree with that.
And surprises people because they're not quite as good as people think they are. But this is a really good division, and I'm just going to take the Chiefs because they got to prove me wrong that they're not ready to keep winning that division. So I'm going to take them, but watch out for the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs up in the division, but I'm telling you, the Chargers, this is why I'm so high on that Week 1 game on Friday. On Friday's game, because this go a long way of setting that table for the Chargers win this game on Friday. We're having that conversation. I think the Chiefs will take a step back this year.
Yeah.
How big a step back is the question. This division is a top 3 division in football, in my opinion, because even the Raiders, who are going to be last place, are a very frisky team. Week to week, they're going to be a hard out every week. Denver, I think they'll step back this year for Denver. To me, it's between the Chargers and the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win this division, but this might come down to the last 2 weeks of the year, honestly.
Yeah, Noah says he picks the Chargers. The Chiefs are still getting scored on by Philly as we speak.
Yeah,
that's what he
that's
says.
the rumor. That's the rumor.
I'm going to take an underdog. I'm actually going to take the
Raiders?
Broncos. Broncos. I'm going to take the Broncos to win
Let's
this
take your
division.
team. Be home everybody else like Jake and Sully is.
Come on, I'm not crazy.
That's true.
I am taking the Broncos to upset in the West. Now moving on to the NFC West, where you got the Cardinals, you got the Rams, you got the 49ers, and the Seahawks. 49ers favored by plus 155.
Yeah, I like the 49ers big in this division. I think they make a big comeback. They got Purdy under contract. McCaffrey, I think, and hope stays healthy. Kittle's is still really good. That defense is awesome. I know the coach has some issues getting over the hump and winning the big game, but I think I think San Fran wins this division relatively easily. Arizona, Seattle, the Rams all have question marks, and I feel like this is San Fran's year to get back on track.
On every podcast I've appeared on since like August, I have picked the Rams to win division, including this one. I changed my pick. The Niners win this division easy. I can't get past the optics of Matthew Stafford probably being hurt and the injuries and all that. San Fran's schedule, once again, that schedule is cake. Mm-hmm. So they should win no less than 12 games this year.
Yeah.
Niners win this division.
Yeah, I think this is one of the better bets if you are going to bet on division winners at plus 155 to take San Francisco here. I think this is a real good one. I think we all agree with this. We're taking San Francisco. Now we move on to the conference winners, and I have the odds for that. The Ravens are favored to win the AFC by plus 325. How do we feel about the winner of the AFC, Pat?
Yeah, I'm going with them. I think it's the Ravens and Chargers in the AFC Championship game, and the Ravens finally get over that hump and get into the Super Bowl. Obviously, you got Kansas City and Buffalo that are going to have something to say about it, but either because of age or injury or just that they've been fighting this mountain, getting to the mountain, and haven't been able to get there. I think it's Baltimore's turn, and like I said, I love the Chargers to make some noise this year, so I'm going to take them to surprise and get to the championship game, but not quite enough to get to the Super Bowl.
So my hot take real quick is going to be for the first time in the Pat Mahomes era, the Chiefs will not make the AFC title game. So Pat and I are on the same vibe there. Okay. However, I have Ravens defeating the Bills to win the AFC. Okay.
Yeah, I actually went the other direction. I'm taking the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills to win the AFC here.
Beating who?
They're going to beat the Ravens.
Okay.
But, I feel like we have all talked about, the Chiefs are going to put up some wins, and they're still going to be a good team this year. I just don't think they're going to be a championship team. That's why I'm taking the Bills to win the AFC. And now as we move on to the NFC, it's no surprise that at plus 350, the Eagles are favored to win the NFC.
Jesus, 350?
I'm going to jump all over the Eagles. I love them this year. I think they beat San Fran in a really good NFC championship game. That'll be tough to say if the Eagles ended up playing Baltimore, because that should be a really good game too. But I think that NFC championship game, if it is the Eagles and San Fran, should be a hell of a game. So I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, me as well, unfortunately. I mean, they are the class of the NFL right now. This is their time. I think who have I haven't beating? I haven't beaten, I think, was it the Rams? I had the Rams initially. Maybe the Niners, I don't know. But it doesn't matter who the opponent is. They're going to beat that opponent. So Eagles win the NFC.
Yeah, the lack of respect for the Eagles, I love it for certain people, but in the fact that I think the Eagles are the best team in football, but plus 350
that's just
to win the conference. Come on, man. Like I do think they're going to play the 49ers and beat them to get back to the Super Bowl. And those Super Bowl odds right now, I'll give you a couple of teams. The favorite to win the Super Bowl is actually the Ravens at plus 650. They're tied with the Bills at plus 650, and then you go to the Eagles, who are plus 700. That's a nice bet right there.
Sense.
And then the Chiefs that are plus 850.
Makes no sense. The Eagles are in the easier conference first off. Okay, that makes no damn sense. I don't understand that.
Disrespect. What do you like, Pat?
Yeah, no, I love the Eagles this year. I've said it all. I think Baltimore can give them a game, but I think the Eagles know they're good, and they are good. And that's a tough here's an even bigger prediction. If the Eagles somehow do win the Super Bowl this year, which I think they will, they're going to win it next year too, and they're going to be the first repeat champion. So throw that out there. Noah.
Look, if that happens, Noah, just fire me.
Yeah, just
Pat, fire me, please.
Yeah,
if that scenario plays out, Pat, just fire me, please. I am not going to deal with Noah Carbone.
Done.
I cannot. No, that is not happening on my watch. No. Having said that, I am also taking the Birds to win the Super Bowl. The Ravens.
Oh.
Sorry, Noah. The Birds. I said it.
The Birds.
I said it. The
There's a new
Ravens.
bird in town.
Yes. The Ravens win the Super Bowl. This is Lamar's year.
Yeah, you and I, because I remember this fondly, and Ernest and I both picked an all-bird Super Bowl last year.
We did.
We were wrong
And he
on
got
that.
and he got mad about that.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to take this might surprise some people. I think this is the Bills' year. I'm taking the Bills to win the whole thing. And right now they're at plus 650. Again, plus 650 for the Ravens, the Bills. Then you got plus 700 for the Eagles and plus 850 for the Chiefs. Those are your Super Bowl odds.
Let me ask you a question before we get out of this segment. Give me and Pat, weigh on this too also. Give me a nice value bet. A team that isn't a favorite, but you can see them if things work out their way. Nice value that can win a Super Bowl this year.
Well, who's going to be the Commanders of this year to me?
Right.
Who do you like, Pat?
Well, if you give me the Bengals odds right now, I'd like to see what that is.
I'll pull it right now.
Yeah, it's got to be in the, I want to say in the 1,000 plus 1,000 range.
I would take the Bengals just because Joe Burrow knows how to beat Patrick Mahomes. He knows how to beat Josh Allen. He knows how to beat Lamar Jackson. It's really a question of the defense with that team, and if they can cobble together something that can stop people. But in this day and age of the NFL, where it's score the highest and score the fastest, that team can do it. So they would be my value pick right there.
So, Pat, the Bengals right now, as we sit here, is plus 2250.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Hello,
Pretty good. So there's some good value bets here, like on teams that you can see if they catch a break here and there. That's not bad. The Commanders plus 2,000, the Rams plus 2,000, Tampa plus 2,500. We'll see. Your Chargers plus 2,500 too. Also, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of value out there.
I might bet this for funsies.
Yeah. Who's your surprise, Ernest?
My surprise, I guess the Chargers are one of my surprises, definitely. For value, is it wrong to say the Steelers plus 4,000?
No, I like it.
Is it wrong?
No,
Because
I like that.
Again, all things equal,
Yeah.
they know how to they can play they know how to play the Ravens. They know how to play these teams. So, and they give these teams issues. So
Yeah.
For a long shot value that things play out, injuries happen, boom, 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 and they're healthy come January, plus 4,000 for the Steelers. Why not?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Pat on this one. I think we should all make a little bet on the Bengals, to be
Yeah,
honest
but the Bengals is a nice one. Bengals and the Chargers.
Yep, and we're going to talk about the season awards. I have some of the odds right here. MVP award, Lamar Jackson plus 500, Josh Allen plus 550, Joe Burrow plus 600. Who's winning the MVP, Pat?
This is going to be a shocker because I'm taking a non-quarterback, which almost never happens.
Love it.
Saquon Barkley is the MVP this year.
Wow.
I don't hate it. I hate it at all. I don't think he'll get enough carries this year because I think they're going to try to mix up things, save his legs for the playoffs. But I can see that definitely. I'm going to go Lamar. This is too easy. I'm going to go Lamar.
Yeah, now we move on. No, and that one right there, I'm going to take Joe Burrow plus 600. Win the MVP.
That's a good value, too.
I'm taking Joe Burrow. Now we move into Offensive Player of the Year. That's what Saquon won last year. Saquon's plus 650. Chase is at 800. Jahmyr Gibbs at 1,100. And Justin Jefferson at 1,300. What do you like, Pat?
Yeah, I would love Justin Jefferson if I knew he had somebody to throw to him. Can you not take a quarterback in this thing, or does it have to be?
Yeah.
I'm taking Joe Burrow then for Offensive Player of the Year.
I like it.
So last year, right? Same thing last year.
Go ahead.
Go Jamar Chase.
Nice. No, I like that pick too at plus 800. Moving on to Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons plus 500, Aiden Hutchinson plus 750, Myles Garrett plus 850, T.J. Watt plus 900.
I love Aiden Hutchinson. Love him this year. I think he's got a lot to prove after being out most of last year. I think he comes out as a beast this year. And even if Detroit takes a step back, he doesn't. I think he's going to have a monster year this year. I'm taking him.
Taking your boy, T.J. Watt. I think the Steelers bounce back this year. I think you start seeing some things here. I think they win 11, 12 games this year. Give me T.J. Watt.
I'm taking Myles Garrett plus 850. I'll take Myles Garrett to win the Defensive Player of the Year. Now
on a bad team?
Yeah, on a bad team.
Wow.
I mean, he's the shining light on that team.
The only light on that team.
Awesome. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Gentees at plus 260. Cameron Ward at 325. Omarion Hampton plus 850. Travis Hunter at plus 1,000. Who do we like, Pat?
Nah, give me that kid from the running back from New England. I'm telling you, they're going to feed him the ball because of May, wanting to take some pressure off him. That kid's a player. I think he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I love that value bet. Plus 1,400, Pat, for that, by the way. That's not a bad value bet. I'm going to go Genty, though, because I think the Raiders will rely a lot on the running game this year to survive. So I'll go Genty, even though he's a heavy favorite.
Even though I should go with the homer pick, I'm taking Omarion Hampton at plus 850. That's the Chargers rookie running back to win Rookie of the Year. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, you got Abdul Carter at plus 200, Jalen Walker at plus 750, Travis Hunter plus 1,100, Mason Graham at plus 1,300.
Noah's going to like this. Give me the kid, the Jihad Campbell, the linebacker from the Eagles. He is a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Make a lot of plays for that team. I'm taking him as Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Carter, I think, is going to be a borderline bust. So
Don't tell me that. Pat, what are you doing?
The look on your
Sorry,
face.
I don't like him at all. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
I hope you're on this one. At least on this one, I hope you're wrong. Definitely, because I need him to. That's my pick, actually, is Carter, because I'm going to go homer on this one. But, by the way, the Campbell pick is nice value, plus 1,400 also.
Yeah, that's really nice. I'm going to take Travis Hunter, as I did earlier in the season, at plus 1,100 to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. So we picked all of our season preview picks. Now moving on to fantasy football. We're not going to talk a lot about fantasy football just because it's the first week. I play fantasy football. I'm in 3 different leagues. Ernest is playing this year.
For the first time in 6 years.
Yeah.
Just doing it for you guys. I'm not a fan like you guys are, but, doing it for you.
Advice for the first week, start your studs. Just start the guys that you picked in the early rounds. You got to give them a chance. I don't really have anybody to say about fantasy football except the fact you drafted them high for a reason. Start your studs this week. Anybody you think, Pat?
Well, I mean, again, I think I'm like Ernest. I don't really like fantasy football. I know that's heresy in the NFL, but it just caused me to root for players versus teams and situations, and I didn't like myself watching football that way.
Yeah.
But again, how can you go wrong with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase? Those guys are going to light it up. Now, again, that we talked about, the Bengals traditionally have not started well. But I think based on the way they finished last year and realized they were probably going to be a team that could have done something if they got in the playoffs, maybe they take it a little more seriously this year, whatever they did wrong in the past, and are more focused in the beginning part. Cleveland's a decent defensive team, but I really like Joe Burrow and Lamar Chase to do some, Jamar Chase to do something this year. So
I'm just annoyed. I'm just annoyed at the fact that everybody's asking for trades already. Can I enjoy a roster for at least a week? Mm-hmm. Trade this guy. No, leave me alone. No trade request, please. Wait till after week 1's over, please. Thank you.
They know you know. No, they don't know what you're doing.
Denied. Denied.
Let's see. Warren Brooks is checking in. He says the Bengals lose week 1. He likes offensive MVP Marvin Harrison Jr. That's a long shot right there. That's a
long
good
shot.
pick.
But Kyler Murray has a good year, and we can see.
And he likes Travion Henderson. He thinks he's going to be a beast in New England. Thanks for checking in, Warren, and so is Bunner. He said I already made a trade in fantasy. I love trading people. No, I do. That's my favorite thing.
You're the guy. Okay. Never mind.
I'm going to send you a trade right after the show.
No, you better not.
Okay, Hard Rock Bet actually has a new welcome offer for Florida users. If you make a first deposit of at least $10 in cash and place a cash wager of $5 or more, if your first bet wins, you got to win it, you're going to receive $150 in bonus bets, and those are credited as 6 separate $25 bonus bets, and those expire after 7 days. That is what's going on with the Hard Rock Bet right now. Look at that QR code. Go ahead and get that QR code right there and start betting now. Bet 5, get $150 and bonus bets. If you got to win that first bet, there's never been a better time than right now to do so. And we are marketing partners with the Seminole Tribe of Florida, offered by the Seminole Tribe. You must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Now let's quickly touch on college football.
Yeah.
We had a great Saturday for the state of Florida. We had some big wins. What was your major takeaways from the first main week of college football, Pat?
Well, that I think we still really don't know who the best team is. I think Ohio State made a claim for it. I certainly think Miami had a great game, but I don't know. Texas, there's some question marks now with Arch Manning. Clemson did not look good. LSU, I think, looked okay, but not. I think Clemson looked worse than LSU looking good. So I don't know. Georgia didn't play anybody. I don't know who the best team is, and maybe that's good for college football this year that you have kind of a wide open race. But there was nobody that I saw that was like, oh my God, that team's going to be dominant. Ohio State's probably the best team right now, but I wouldn't say that they're going to be some kind of juggernaut. They're beatable. So for college football, I think the theme right now, based on week one, is it's a wide open race.
And I love it. I love it. Like, Ohio State's number one by default. They're national champions. They beat number one team in the rankings prior to the game, so it makes sense. My takeaway from this week is more so, look, you guys know I'm a Florida State fan.
Yeah.
Very happy what happened on Saturday. Beat Alabama. But we don't know. I think clearly FSU is better than they were last year. Low bar, 2-10. The question is, how good is FSU? And we don't know for a couple of weeks because I don't know how good Alabama is either. Like, was this loss for Bama one of those like shocking losses, and they'll get all together and then go 3-1 in the next couple of weeks? We don't know. So let the season bake in a couple of weeks. But what I do love in the era of the 12-team playoff, the parity is great. I love the parity. It feels wide open. I love it. Like, you can have a group of like maybe 8 or 9 teams you do like, but it's no longer the same like group of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it feels wide open. Florida looks really good. I know they beat Long Island.
They beat a high school team.
Yeah, but the way you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that matters in college football. I just think that the parity in college football is going to make things so much better now. And you have the 12-team playoff on top of that now. I think every week is going to be fun to watch. Even this week being a week of schedule, there's something to pull out those games. So I think week one was a barn burner, and I think we have a great year ahead of us, honestly.
Yeah, and shout out to the Hurricane fans. They beat Notre Dame, and again,
they used back apparently.
Yeah,
they win one big game. They use back.
FSU's back. Hopefully Florida's back. Hopefully it's going to be a really fun year for Florida
Yeah,
college football.
I will say that. I hate the Canes. I hate the Gators, but college football is way more fun when these teams are competitive.
It is
way more fun.
Yep. I do like that trade, Jacob. He said, should I trade Smitty and Baker for DK? He's already got Josh Allen, T. Higgins, and Neighbors. I would take that trade right there.
Smitty?
Talking about Smitty.
Okay.
Yeah, you know Smitty.
No trades.
We're going to touch quick on the MLB. We don't have a lot to talk about. The playoffs started today. The Phillies are in there. How are we feeling about your Phillies right now, Pat?
I mean, same as I felt all year. I just they win some games that you like to see. They come back. They came back against Milwaukee on Monday, a really good Milwaukee team that they've lost 3 in a row to, and beat them. And then they lose to Atlanta, on that Sunday. Alvarado gives up a horrendous home run, against a team that's clearly going in the tubes, and so you're just so frustrated watching them because they have spurts of where they look like they could actually do some damage, and then they lose games that you absolutely can't lose. I mean, losing Wheeler for the year is crushing. Nola is done. You're going to have to rely on Ranger Suarez and Sanchez to be your 2 horses in the playoffs, and they're good pitchers, but I just don't think they're good enough to win series. And the Phillies bats are so hot and cold that if they kind of one of their cold streaks in the playoffs, they're going to get swept by somebody. So I just don't have a lot of faith in them. Can they do something? Yeah, anytime any team gets in there, they can do something. But I still think the Dodgers are better. Milwaukee's better. Even if the Mets get in there, the Phillies cannot win in New York.
Good.
That lock of the year last week.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm kicking myself, Pat, because I flew to New York on Wednesday. I could have went to one of those 2 games, or at least the Wednesday game when I flew in, the Phillies game when they were in town. I kicked myself not going to the game on Wednesday, but it is what it is. You are I have many friends of Phillies fans. Pat, you are by far the moodiest Phillies fan I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Maybe the most realistic Phillies fan.
I like them better. Like I should like win, but I hate them. I hate.
See? You see what I mean?
I hate them.
Like this guy sucks, that guy sucks. They bring in this Dave Robertson, who they got rid of 3 years ago, and he comes in, he instantly gives up like 3 singles and I'm like, I can't stand the guy they pick. It's just so frustrating. But
right, and that's the thing though. All things equal, they can win it all this year. They're that good.
They can.
So I don't know, man, but it feels like now with the playoffs, these teams we have right here and now, I think these will be the National League teams.
Yeah.
The Mets put some distancing themselves in the wild cards. They just right now they won 2 games against Detroit. The Mets are weird though, because look, the Mets sweep Philadelphia last week, right? Then they lose 3 out of 4 to the Marlins.
Yeah.
Then they right now win 2 and now against Detroit so far. So they're good against the good teams, bad against the bad teams. Make it make sense, guys. I don't understand that.
Yep. Now it's time to move on to one of our favorite portions of the show, one of our favorite things from last year, and that is called NFL Quick Picks. We're going to run down each and every game, and we're going to do that quickly. We're going to clip it and then put it all over social media. So it's now time for some quick picks. Pat, Dallas at Philadelphia.
Yeah, I like Philly big in this one.
Me too. Eagles fly, I guess.
Eagles favored by 8, taking them at home. Friday's game, Kansas City at L.A.
I'm taking L.A. I think this is a statement game by the Chargers that they're going to be somebody to contend with this year, so I'm taking L.A.
Same as with Pat, man. I like the Chargers this one.
Even though they're playing in Brazil, I'm still taking Kansas City favored by 3. I'm taking Kansas City to win. Now moving on to Sunday games. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Tampa Bay favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I like Michael Penix, but I like Baker Mayfield more, so I'm taking Tampa.
I'm calling the upset here. Tampa's a better team, but I think Atlanta for week 1 will win this game the upset.
I'm taking Tampa Bay on the road. Now moving on to Cincinnati, favored by 4.5 at Cleveland.
I probably should change this because I can't believe I'm picking Cleveland, but I'm going to pick Cleveland.
Jake's smiling somewhere around here. No, to the Bengals, of course. Bengals win this game.
Yeah, Bengals big. Now Miami at Indy. Indianapolis favored by 1.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami just because I really don't believe in Indianapolis at all. And I think the Dolphins are one of those question mark teams, and I think this is just a game they win.
Must win for the Dolphins, in my opinion. I know it's crazy. Give me Dolphins, though.
I'm taking the Dolphins also. We all agree on Miami. Now going Carolina at Jacksonville. Jacksonville favored by 3.
Yeah, the 2 teams that you think might be going in the right direction. I'm taking Jacksonville just because they're at home.
How do you say their name, Jaguars?
The Jaguars?
There we go. That's it.
Okay, I'm actually taking Carolina on the road in this one for the upset. Las Vegas at New England. New England favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I like New England in this game. I like them being at home, but Vegas is going to be a much better team. And watch my man, my running back, run wild in this one.
Yeah, Vegas is frisky this year, but something is percolating in New England. Give me the Pats.
Yeah, I'm taking the frisky Raiders on the road. Now moving on to Arizona. Arizona at New Orleans. Arizona goes in favored by 6.
Yeah, I think New Orleans is going to be historically bad. The bags are going to come back on the Aints fans' heads. So I'm going to take.
Yeah, if there's an 0-17 candidate this year, this is it. The Saints. Give me Zona.
Yeah, taking Zona big. Pittsburgh at the Jets. Pittsburgh favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I don't look for this to be a good game at all. I think Pittsburgh does what they do early in the year and wins on a healthy defense. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's like a 17-10 with the defense scoring a touchdown. So give me the Steelers.
Love the Steelers on a revenge game here, but bet the under in this game especially.
Yep, taking the Steelers on the road. Now moving Giants at the Commanders. Commanders favored by 4.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Commanders here, being at home. But like I said, Russell Wilson played really good in Washington last year with the Steelers. So if he lights it up again, Giants might pull the upset. But I'm going to take Washington.
I'm probably going to pick Washington to win this game, but I love the Giants on the points here.
Taking Washington at home. Now moving on. Tennessee at Denver. Denver favored by 7.5.
Yeah, I hate that half. I hate the hook there, but I think Tennessee is going to be abysmal this year. They're going to be fighting with New Orleans for the worst team, but I'm going to take Denver.
The hook won't matter, Pat, because they're going to blow them out by at least 2 touchdowns. So give me Denver.
Yeah, taking Denver at home. That's my big upset in the AFC West right there. Now moving San Francisco at Seattle. San Francisco favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I love San Fran. I love them this year, and I think they make, again, a statement win in Seattle. I think Seattle takes a big step back this year without Pete Carroll.
San Fran has the easiest schedule in the league, and it starts here. They'll win this game relatively easy. Give me the Niners.
Yep, taking the Niners on the road. Detroit at Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 2.5.
Yeah, this one, I love Detroit. I just think that being on the road, I think it's tough to win in Green Bay. I'm going to take Green Bay.
Yeah, me too. Again, this is my personal game of the week. We'll see how it plays out, but I think Green Bay on the energy is in Lambeau. Close game. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit on the road in this one. Now moving on. Houston at the Rams. Rams favored by 3.
Yeah, if this game was in Houston, I'd take Houston. But not that the Rams have some great home field advantage; they don't. But I just think at LA, I think it's going to be Matthew Stafford being as healthy as he is. I think they're going to find a way to win.
Another solid Week 1 game here. I like the Rams here. Stafford's as healthy as right now he's going to be this season so far. Give me the Rams.
Yep, taking the Rams to win Week 1. Baltimore at Buffalo. Baltimore favored by 1.
Yeah, this should be a great game, but I think it's a statement game by Lamar. And I think somebody, I don't know if it was Earnest, somebody said they might pull away. The more I think about it, Baltimore might win this relatively easily.
Yeah, I said that, and I think it will happen. This is a put up a sub year for the Ravens. It starts now. Give the Ravens a win and run.
We're all on Baltimore in this one. Now the Monday night game, Minnesota at Chicago. Minnesota favored by 1.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in Minnesota at all until J.J. McCarthy proves me different. So I'm going to take Chicago at home.
Chicago's only because they're at home. Otherwise, we'll see.
Yep, I'm going to take the Bears at home, and that was quick picks for Week 1 of the NFL.
Made it quick.
Now we're going to talk about our sports betting picks of the week. I have one for tomorrow night's game. I have the teams to go over 47.5 points. I have George Pickens an anytime touchdown and the Eagles to win. If you do all that, it's plus 550, and $25 will win you $162.50. That is my sports bet of the week. You got anything brewing, Pat?
I do as well. I like the Eagles really big tomorrow. I think if there's an under for the Cowboys, if you can get them under 12 points, I don't think they score at all. So I'm taking the Eagles big in that game.
Yeah, a little simple parlay. The Eagles to cover, Broncos to cover, the Giants on the points as well too. And you know what? I'm taking them. Give me Baltimore to cover as well too, under 14 parlay.
Okay, now let's talk about what's going on here at PBKC. We got September High Hands. That just started a few days ago. That's the $15,000 cash giveaways on the 27th. Also, Feast and Football, of course, is coming up for the first week right here in the Paddock Restaurant every football Sunday during the regular season. A buffet is free with a $25 or more bet placed day of at PBKC with the Hard Rock Bet app. For more information, go to our website at pbkennelclub.com. And, of course, the Paddock Restaurant show season is kicking off in October. We got so many great shows coming up between dinner shows and comedy. You're going to want to get to the Paddock and buy those tickets now, as tickets are already selling fast. Reaction Band is October 3rd. Rat Pack now October 17th. And Beer for My Horses, our first country act, is coming in on November the 8th. Something for everyone this season in the Paddock. And Pat, what are we looking forward to in Week 1 of the NFL?
Well, I mean, I except for the Eagles, I think a lot of everything else is kind of wide open. You know, we talked about the big three: Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City in the AFC. We talked about, you know, who we think might challenge the Eagles in the NFC. But you know, except for the Eagles, if you can take them out of the equation, it'll be nice to see if the Chargers, you know, can take a step forward. If the Bengals can rebound off of last year. And then also, like some of the teams we talked about, like Minnesota, you know, maybe not being as good as people think they're going to be. So that's a great thing about the NFL. Every year it's different. There's new things. There's new players. There's new coaches. And there's usually one or two surprise teams, good and bad. And that's no different this year.
Yeah, real quick, that parlay I was doing, you bet $100, make $1,300 if it hits. So
Nice.
This is a nice little parlay.
Okay, what are we looking forward to, Ernest?
Honestly, I'm just amazed how this is a sexy Week 1 list here.
I don't know
every
about
game,
that
every
word,
game,
but
bro,
yeah.
every game has intrigue right now. Even the bad games, like Arizona, New Orleans, like there's something to pull out of this game to talk about narrative-wise. You have the Rams and Texans. This is a great Week 1 liftoff. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I cannot wait for tomorrow night, then Friday night, and then Sunday. I cannot wait, man. This is Christmas time for me.
In the words of Ernest Christian, we can't wait for this sexy Week 1 of the NFL to start tomorrow night with the Eagles and the Cowboys. Oh, I hope everybody has a great week number 1. Thank Pat Rooney for checking in. Thank you, Ernest.
Pat.
My name is Mike
Thanks,
Jameson.
guys.
Have a great Week 1, and we're going to see you next Wednesday at 10 a.m. right here on PBKC Picks.
Go G-Men.
Thanks, guys.
PBKC is your
See
entertainment
you
destination
guys.
for poker,
Bye-bye.
table games,
Bye-bye.
OTV, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock Restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222, extension 199, and book your next event today. Feast in Football is back in the Paddock. Get ready for touchdowns and tasty bites every football Sunday during the regular season. Enjoy a $25 all-you-can-eat buffet plus 1 draft beer, or get it free when you place a $25 or more live bet on the Hard Rock Bet app at PBKC. Featuring 140 HD TVs, 3 giant screens, and a full bar. Bring your crew, place your bets, and pile your plate high. This is how Sundays were meant to be.